crew started to experience haunting visions. Whispers echoed through the corridors of the ship, and shadows seemed to move just beyond the corner of one's eye. Passion kindled by her father, an astrophysicist lost in space. Each night she gazed up at the celestial canvas, seeing not just stars, but memories of her father and the stories he shared. His absence left a void in her heart, fueling her dream to journey into the cosmos, perhaps to find a part of him. Lena's childhood was steeped in astronomy, each constellation a reminder of her father's teachings and the mystery of his disappearance. Years later, as Lena embarked on a mission aboard the Orion to investigate a space anomaly, she carried not only her scientific aspirations, but also a silent hope. Perhaps among the stars, she would find answers to the questions that had haunted her since childhood. Unknown to Lena, this journey would lead her into an encounter with a cosmic horror, challenging her understanding of reality and her father's legacy among the stars. The mission was straightforward: investigate a mysterious anomaly near the edge of the solar system. The anomaly, a bizarre, pulsating energy field, had appeared seemingly out of nowhere, baffling scientists back on Earth. For Lena, this was the opportunity of a lifetime, the chance to make a discovery that could fulfill her lifelong dream. As Orion approached the anomaly, a sense of unease crept over the crew. The ship's instruments began to malfunction, displaying readings that defied logic. The stars outside seemed to flicker and warp, as if the fabric of space itself was being twisted. Lena tried to remain focused on her scientific observations, but a growing sense of dread gnawed at her. Then the unexplainable happened. The crew started to experience haunting visions. Whispers echoed through the corridors of the ship, and shadows seemed to move just beyond the corner of one's eye. Lena initially dismissed these occurrences as stress-induced hallucinations, but the intensity and frequency of these events escalated rapidly. One by one, her colleagues succumbed to madness. Driven by the eerie visions, they began to take their own lives in the most horrific ways imaginable. Lena watched in horror as the dream that had brought her to the stars turned into a nightmare. She was now alone, stranded on a ship haunted by unseen horrors. Isolated and terrified, Lena delved deeper into the anomaly's data, desperate for answers. She uncovered ancient cosmic frequencies embedded within the energy field, frequencies that resonated with the human brain in inexplicable ways. It was as if the anomaly itself was alive, a sentient being that fed on the minds of those who dared to explore it. As Lena's own mind began to fray, she made a chilling realization. This anomaly wasn't just a random occurrence in space. It was a gateway, a bridge to an ancient and malevolent consciousness that lay beyond the known universe. A consciousness that reveled in the suffering and madness of sentient beings. With her sanity slipping away, Lena devised a plan. She would overload the ship's reactor, destroying the Orion and sealing the gateway, sacrificing herself to prevent this cosmic horror from reaching Earth. It was her last stand, a final act to save humanity from a fate worse than death. As the countdown to the reactor's overload began, Lena recorded a final message, a warning to anyone who might encounter such anomalies in the future. She spoke of the beauty and terror of the cosmos, of the thin line between scientific pursuit and existential horror. As Lena prepared to overload the ship's reactor, a startling revelation unfolded. The crew members, whom she believed had succumbed to the anomaly's madness, appeared before her, very much alive but panicked. They were pleading with her, asking why she was trying to destroy the Orion. Confusion and horror washed over Lena as she realized the extent of the anomaly's deception. It had not been a simple inducer of hallucinations. It was far more insidious. It had created an elaborate, immersive illusion, manipulating her perception to believe her colleagues were dead by their own hands. In reality, she had forced her way to the ship's mainframe, initiating the reactor overload sequence under its malevolent influence. The realization struck her like a physical blow. Lena's hands, she now saw, were stained with blood, not from violence, but from her frantic efforts to access the reactor controls. She had been the anomaly's puppet, dancing to its twisted tune. Desperate to undo what she had done, Lena rushed to the control panel, trying to stop the Orion's destruction. Her fingers flew over the buttons, but the system was locked in its final countdown. Her crewmates, faces etched with fear and confusion, rallied around her, but there was nothing they could do. The realization that they were all trapped in this nightmare, with no way out, settled over them like a shroud. In these final moments, as the countdown neared its end, the anomaly unleashed its most powerful illusion yet. Suddenly, each crew member, including Lena, was enveloped in an overwhelming sense of peace and serenity. It was a stark contrast to the chaos and fear that had just consumed them. They looked at each other, understanding in their eyes. They knew they were doomed, yet this inexplicable calmness offered a bizarre comfort. As the ship's systems began to fail and the lights flickered, Lena thought of her lifelong dream, to uncover the mysteries of the universe. Now, here at the end, she realized some mysteries were too dangerous, too alien for human minds to comprehend. The Orion exploded in a silent, brilliant flash, a brief supernova in the endless expanse of space. The anomaly, having claimed its latest victims, pulsed quietly in the void, its secrets remaining unexplored, its hunger unabated, waiting for the next unwitting explorers to cross its path. If you liked the story of Nina and the Orion, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. I have so much more to tell you, and I'd love to see you again.